And there's also that thing, man. I think the brand, it takes a person like this who, in a way, wears the shirt with such depth. They're so proud to be endorsed by Fender that they're going to do, man, 3 times what Fender expects. And often the person who is from that old school, who had a big band, which today might not even be anymore, the guy just wants to be endorsed, play a show, and that's it. He's not interested in saying much there.
But if you fill a stadium, playing a show is a big deal.
Yeah, filling a stadium. I'm talking more about a crowd that I have in mind. Some bands here that when we opened a guitar player in the 90s, they were there with the guitar on a full page, whether Johnston and Bunnies, something like that. And these guys nowadays no longer have the same power they once had. And maybe these guys, I don't know, but I don't see them being sponsored, or as they no longer appear in the guitar magazine. Something was broken, a link there, right?
Totally.
And now we've been seeing smaller people there.
Which is really cool, because it's giving opportunities to the smaller guy, to the smaller girl, right? But the thing is about relationships. You have an audience, you have someone who might want to buy a guitar and pick up on the pedal because of your influence. It's an influencer, right? It became a bad word, right? He's an influencer, right?
No, but what you're saying, man, makes total sense. I remember that. I won't remember the exact year. Maybe 2017, 2018. I saw a move by a brand that I thought was crazy. I was like, wow, that's awesome. But like, what's behind it? It was Music Man who sponsored Jared Dines from YouTube at the time.
YouTuber, right?
They made a signature model for Jared Dines. And if I'm not mistaken, for the other guy, Fluffy, who played with him in a band. Later, they split up and went on to play in different bands. But endorsing, sending instruments to the guy to test and everything, but precisely because of what you're talking about. The guy had such a big influence that basically, at the time, everything he showed there, people would buy. It would sell.
Do you know who, in my opinion, was the great name in contemporary guitar that we saw this happen in real time? Actually, there are two, right? One is older, but anyway, let's go. There are two guys. The first is Rob Chapman from England.
Total. Wow, man.
He went from being an online influencer who had his experimental work to now having his own brand. They gave him Chapman guitars. He was going to work with Gold, which, if I'm not mistaken, is a brand from the UK. They were going to release Chapman by Gold. It was going to be a guitar to sell because he was very popular. And then talks went back and forth. They launched Chapman by Gold. If I'm not mistaken, it sold out in 3 minutes. When he announced it, then the guy said, no, I'm going to give you a brand. And then it started small, and it kept growing. And today,
ML1, he basically endorsed several musicians from there. Rabé Amassad. Right? But, man, Jared himself, he made a model for Jared. Well, that's fantastic, man.
And now, on another side of the spectrum, now exclusively as an artist, not just as a businessman, Nick Johnston. First.
Did Nick leave Sheck?
No, he's with Sheck. That's why I said, in another aspect, now as an artist. Nick first, playing. What can you say about the guy playing? The guy is phenomenal at playing. But how did he start? Using the Fender. He told me this personally at a workshop he did at EMI. He struggling hard because he wanted a Fender, because he plays a Strat. Who plays a Strat doesn't want a Fender, right?
If I'm not mistaken, he appeared with a Fender in the Polyphia Chapman music video, right? In the end, the final solo of that song is with the Fender. In the video, he's playing with that little silver Fender. Yes, the extract.
I haven't seen it.
Check it out later. It's an old Champagne video, but it's awesome, man.
But like, the guy was struggling hard, and Schecter called him. Can I send you the guitar? A custom shop, wow. He received it just as it came in the case. In the case, it stayed under the bed for months. And he kept recording with the Fender because he wasn't interested. Then the guy from Schecter called and asked, so did you try it? I'm saying this in a good way, okay? If you don't want it, you can send it back because it's a custom shop. It's an expensive guitar and all. But I wanted to know your opinion. Then he said, well, I was embarrassed, right? The guy sent me a guitar worth almost $3,000, a custom shop. I didn't even look at the guitar, man. He said, no, give me a minute. I'll call you back. In a little while, he took the guitar out of the case, played it, and said, man, what a fantastic. Because the Schecter custom shop guitars are wonderful. Not just because I'm a Schecter endorser. Let me tell you.
I'll tell you that even the production line of Schecter is exceptional, man.
And then he showed up playing with Schecter.
The guitar sold well?
Schecter started receiving emails and noticed a difference. Sales of the Strat model they make. And then he started saying, man, Schecter is better than the Fenders I have. I preferred it. Then he started using it, posted a video, called the Schecter guy, and said, look, I'm sorry, I messed up with you. I didn't test the guitar. I tested it here now. The guitar is wonderful. Can I keep it? Of course, I sent it for you to use and everything. He recorded a bunch of videos, got tens of thousands of views because he's quite big on the internet. Call? Shall we close the endorsement? Shall we do something here? Hey, we're interested in developing a model for you. They developed a custom one for him just the way he wanted. Then comes the marketing insight, which we are very involved in this field. How did the Schecter Nick Johnston model start? It started with high-end custom shop guitars with a base price of $2,900 and something. That was, I don't know. How many years are we going to launch? A limited edition with 10 guitars sold out in 5 minutes, great. 2 months later, another limited edition of 20 guitars sold out, great. 3 months later, another limited edition. They kept increasing the quantity until there came a time when the custom shop couldn't handle it. Now let's launch a Diamond series, which is made in Asia, cheaper. And today his check-in, if it's not the best-selling, it's one of the best-selling of the brand.
What is the quantity of points, do you know?
Man, for $900 you can buy a new one. It ranges between $900 and $200. He might need to confirm this on the website because the prices have changed. But I've already played some of Nick Johnston's guitars. Even the cheaper ones. They are all wonderful, really well-built instruments. Who is the guy that starts in the United States?
First guitar, that guitar, but it's not a cheap guitar. It's also a mid-priced guitar. It's the price of an American Standard. No, it's cheap. No, if you put it's the price of an American. Is it an expensive guitar in the United States already?
An intermediate guitar, an expensive guitar from a no, but it's already out of stock.
A $200 guitar buyers have already decided to play guitar. Yes, or that kid whose father sees he has talent and is taking it seriously. It's not a guitar like, wow, man, I'm going to buy my first guitar for $200. No, it's up to $500 for a...
But still, a nice guitar, very well made.
No, man, his guitar is fantastic.
So, great, well built. And...
he's not that big on social media either, right?
Nick, he's huge. He's huge? His YouTube channel is booming.
How big is his channel?
I can't say for sure, but he had many thousands of subscribers.
And on Instagram?
I haven't followed him on Instagram for a while. Or I follow him and stopped receiving updates because of the algorithm. But he's big, man. And everything he touches that he wants to sell turns to gold and sells.
Really, man? I knew he was big.
He's big.
So, I'm looking here, man. 107,000 subscribers. Wow.
But how's his engagement?
But it's not giant like I'm talking about, you know? It's not giant, man.
But his guitar sells like hotcakes, dude.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying it's interesting. I find it an interesting case because even though it's not a channel, it's so big, the guy sells a lot, man.
That's on Instagram, right?
No, YouTube.
On YouTube, only 107,000. Yeah, here.
I thought it was much more. Let's see here. I'll check on... let me check here on...
on Insta.
But, man, now that I'm looking here to find it, Johnston Brown is with Schecter. 139,000. On
YouTube?
On Insta.
On Insta.
But you know what's funny, man? I received a guitar from Yamaha Heavy Star. Wonderful. And I started using it.
It's a wonderful guitar, and I did a review of it.
And I said every time someone sent me a message saying they bought the guitar after watching the review, I started taking screenshots. And sending them to my wife. Let's save them just in case. When I checked, there were already more than 20 screenshots. Sometimes we don't realize because it's not a cheap guitar. I'm not talking about a set of strings, a pedal, something cheaper, right? And it's hard for us to really measure what happens when you say something. And I say this also because once I talked about a very cheap guitar from Strindberg costing $700, which I said was an honest guitar. I said, well, man, I think it's an honest guitar for $700, but it's a $700 guitar. I explained everything. Then a guy showed up at the school once and he said, man, I bought this guitar, but I didn't like it that much. I said, but you understood it was a $700 guitar, right, dude? You don't want to compare the soul with the gap you have there, right, man? A fifth introductory anecdote. Just to mention the price here, the Nick Johnston USA signature is down from $4,200 to $3,500.
But that's the Custom Shop USA.
Yes, and there's the traditional USA, but with a nitro finish, $3,500 as well. Then there are the simpler models here, man. Nick Johnston Traditional, $950 for the left-handed version. Now there's the PT, which I think is a new one. It's the Tele, right? 900?
You can simply make a living with these guitars.
Man, let's go, right? For the folks who enjoy the gear stuff. The whole deal, brother. Ebony fretboard, roasted maple neck. Good hardware, hardware with transformer. Check out the photo for everyone to see. People complained in the last videos that you're not including the photos, Mitch. I'm putting the pedal board. But then I'll blame the guest who didn't send it. Its body is made of alder, so forth. For those who like this stuff, man, but then the thing is cheap. It's bad, man. Woods. Good woods, man. Craft Tech, it's... Oh. If I'm not mistaken, man. Its pickup is the Schecter Atomic. No, it's his. The Schecter Diamond. Nick Johnston, single coil.
He left Duncan to use Schecter. He was with Seymour Duncan.
The bridge one is the Diamond 78. Man, like $850 is exceptional, man. Exceptional.
I would make a living with this guitar if I were in Brazil and didn't want to take my jewels out of the house. I would make a living. I would play at night if I had a shakedown. Nick Johnston, not the custom shop, the one made in Asia for $900. I would be happy, man. Happy, happy, happy.
It would be great to have watched this cut from the Starling Cast. You can watch the full episode here in the video description. And take advantage, if you are a guitarist, to join the largest virtual school in Brazil, exclusive for guitarists, by clicking on the QR code or in the video description. I'll see you there.